cannot breathe. I cannot breathe.
You just a grown young.
And police brutality. Enough is enough.
The death of African-American man George Floyd under the knee of a white police officer here 2 years ago added a disgraceful chapter to America's ill-famed human rights record. 2 years on, the U.S. continued to reel from the terrifying murder that occurred in broad daylight. At the same time, it struggled to find a cure for racism long embedded in the nation's political, economic, and social fabric. Xinhua recently visited Minneapolis, Minnesota, where the tragic incident happened, to see how local residents have recovered from the trauma and reflected on the issue of racism in the U.S.
I was there. The cop, they arrest him or whatever, and they choke him and they get him on the ground. No one knew anything, but I knew something wasn't right. Something could have happened traumatic to you in your life, and you may never recover.
Nothing made sense to me because the way I found out how he was killed, because the person that told me was a news reporter. Because I didn't find out he was killed till the day after. So everything, there was no preparation. Everything was right in the moment. Thrust into it. Thrust in the moment, to deal with grief, to deal with pain, with emotional roller coaster.
It's never going to be justice. You can't have justice for a person that's dead. Him going home would have been justice, him having his day in court, but you can never have full justice. We want accountability, but you can never have justice because he can't go home and hug his daughter or his other kids.
Just that we need justice, and we can't stop until we get it. You can say one name or a few names, but when you actually write it down, it's a lot more people than you think. And I have a wait list of a lot of names. This list will never be done. It will never be finished.
Throughout the 17th and 18th centuries, people were kidnapped from the African continent, forced into slavery in the American colonies for the production of crops such as tobacco and cotton. By the mid-19th century, Americans' westward expansion and the abolition movement set up a consequential debate over slavery that would divide the young nation in a bloody civil war. Though the Union victory freed 4 million enslaved people in the nation, the negative legacy of slavery has stayed alive. According to a Gallup poll last year, 64% of Americans believe racism against African Americans is widespread in the nation. What's worrisome to many is that racial issues are getting worse in the U.S. due to partisan politics, ideological divides, and economic inequality, stressing rather than weakening a sense of breathlessness among African Americans and other racial and ethnic minorities.
The war is that I don't have to go somewhere with a sign that says Black Lives Matter. When I can one day walk up and just be me, I'll just say, hey, no one should have privilege. No one should have a membership to equality. Equality is a birthright. It's not an option. And for 400 years, it has been an option for brown and black people. We had to negotiate equality. The right to ride the bus, the right to vote, the right to be educated. Those things were illegal. We are going forward. We're not negotiating equality, but we are not taking no for an answer. But more needs to be done.